Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Adam Mohammed Usman and welcome to Somaliland National Television News English, here to bring you the latest news. Let's start with the stories making the headlines. President of Somaliland holds meeting with key officials of Somaliland's diaspora community in the UK. Vice President of Somaliland attends the 20th anniversary of the establishment of the Somaliland National Forces. EU Foreign Policy Chief Ashton wants constructive dialogue to resolve the Ukrainian crisis. President of Somaliland Ahmed Mohamed Mohamud, accompanied by the First Lady and several of Somaliland's governmental officials, met with members of Somaliland's diaspora community based in the United Kingdom.
Minister of Presidency Hirsi Ali Haji Hassan, speaking to the attendees, commended Somaliland's diaspora in the UK for their commitment and dedication to fostering peaceful and prosperous Somaliland, as well as their participation in government efforts towards development. Somaliland's ambassador to the UK, speaking at the event, and complimented the President and his delegation for their visit in the UK, the major role in development being portrayed in the homeland. President of Somaliland Ahmed Mohamed Mohamud Silani provided brief remarks at the event. The President commended efforts of Somaliland's diaspora in the UK for their warm welcome they provided for his delegation. President Ahmed Silani took different approaches during his speech on key issues regarding the security and the economic improvement, as well as different steps taken towards development during the President's tenure in office, include fostering investment in the private sector of Somaliland with the main objective of enhancing the country's economy. President Silani urged citizens to invest in their homeland and better progress for the country while utilizing a more collaborative government platform towards citizens' participation in national development. Other keynote speakers at the event included Somaliland's ambassador at large, who stressed the necessity of the diaspora investment in Somaliland and commended an increasing investment in Somaliland's private sector fueled by diaspora returnees.
Vice President of Somaliland Abdurrahman Abdullah Ismail, accompanied by the Chairman of the House of Representatives and several governmental officials, attended an event marking the 20th anniversary of the establishment of Somaliland's National Forces. Vice President of Somaliland Abdurrahman Abdullah Ismail Sayli'i, accompanied by the Chairman of the House of Representatives. The Vice President, speaking at the event, stated his congratulations to the armed forces and their families and commended the role that the National Armed Forces play in the country's security and defending the nation from international interference and threat. Vice President of Somaliland Abdurrahman Abdullah Ismail Sayli'i elaborated on the important steps taken by the government to better progress the army. Vice President of Somaliland Abdurrahman Abdullah Ismail elaborated on the major steps taken by the government to better equip the army and ensure greater development in domestic security. The Vice President also explained the role of Somaliland's army as a defensive unit with the main objective of ensuring that Somaliland remains secure, but not to invade or pose threats to neighbouring nations. The Vice President urged neighbouring Puntland administration of Somalia to avoid violence and stop interfering in and around Somaliland's territories. Other keynote speakers at the event included the Vice Minister of Defence, who reiterated the major role the ministry has in ensuring progress is achieved step by step to ensure that Somaliland remains free from external threats. Commander-in-Chief of the Army, speaking at the event, stated that since the military development has been established, it has achieved greater security for the country's socio-economic pursuits, as well as ensuring strong armed forces are able to take on their enemy with the country's socio-economic pursuits, as well as ensuring that they maintain strong armed forces. The Somaliland House of Representatives ratified a legislation to change the ways in which people report or the processes in which they can report the spread of HIV and AIDS.
In an assembly chaired by the Speaker of the House of Representatives Abdurrahman Abdullah Iro, the House of Representatives unanimously ratified a committee responsible for providing reports to the House on means of reducing the spread of HIV and AIDS in Somaliland society, which will soon be presented to the House. 49 members of the Parliament were in attendance at the Assembly, 34 voted for the committee, 12 voted against the committee, while the remaining abstained from voting. Therefore, the committee received majority votes is expected to present the HIV and AIDS law to the House of Representatives.
The Minister of National Planning and Development, Dr. Saad Ali Shire, provided honorary certificates for members of the ministry for their commitment, hard work and excellence in their service to the ministry.
Minister of Planning and National Development, Saad Ali Shire, provided honorary certificates for members of the ministry staff for their commitment, hard work and excellence in serving the nation to the best of their abilities. Minister of Planning and National Development, Saad Ali Shire, pointed out the necessity of collectively serving the nation to ensure that Somaliland has made progress resembling the very nations it continues to lobby for support. The minister expressed jubilation for the towering efforts that ministry staff took in further developing the ministry service for the public. Minister of Planning and National Development, Saad Ali Shire, urged the employees to continue hard work and assert their commitment to ensuring more progress on a number of key areas. Director General of the Ministry of Planning and National Development provided brief remarks at the event. He stated that ministry staff are the backbone of ministry service and core of its development. The event concluded with the Minister of Planning and National Development providing certificates for the employees.
NGO liaison for the Hargeisa local municipality stated that the local government continues to portray progress in a number of key areas, which include relocating less than fortunate families, illegally squatting in several areas across the capital city of Somaliland, Hargeisa.
Director of NGOs liaison for the Department for Hargeisa's local government stated that the local government continues to portray progress on a number of key areas, include relocating less than fortunate families, illegally squatting in several areas in the capital city. The director reiterated that less than fortunate families squatted in several inappropriate positions will be relocated to places previously prepared by the local government, and pledged for the families that they will be able to access essential services, including running water, homes and more assistance and monitoring by the local government for as long as the situation retains composure. The director of the Department of NGOs license for Hargeisa's local government pledged prospective plans in the pipeline and a number of key areas that the local government intends on more development.
You're still tuned into the English News Programme on Somaliland National Television, the only Somali-speaking channel with an English news programme. And now for our international news in detail. Ukrainian protesters on the streets of Kiev remain defiant as the country's leading political figures clash at Munich's security conference. They said they won't move until President Viktor Yanukovych resigns and early elections are called. People won't leave. Personally, I won't be leaving until all authorities are changed. There are thousands of people like me. We are going to stay until the very end, said Oleg, a protester in Kiev. EU Foreign Policy Chief Catherine Ashton is clear what the best measures are to deal with the crisis in Ukraine, with the opposition both here and in Ukraine about all the ways in which we can support them. It is often a false way to look at things to just focus on one aspect of the kind of support that we can give the people of Ukraine. It's really important, first and foremost, that the violence in Ukraine stops and that they move to a constructive dialogue. Look at the issues of constitutional reform, the role of Parliament, and moving forward so that people can have faith in the transparency and openness of the process. Kiev's Independence Square is once again the scene of another mass opposition rally on Sunday. Since the demonstrations began, 7 people have been killed and over 1,000 injured. The partial lifting of sanctions against Iran as part of the Geneva Agreement last month could mark the beginning of a period of economic growth for the country. The rial has increased in value against the euro, making imports cheaper, which has led to some business people to claim they have been negatively affected by the changes. The government remains critical of the measures still in place. Iranian Foreign Affairs Minister Mohammad Javad Zarif said the sanctions were illegal to begin with. He added that there are certain parts of the Iranian nuclear program that will continue, and that there are certain parts enrichments over 5% that we agreed not to continue. It doesn't mean that we will continue everything. It doesn't mean that we will discontinue everything. In November, an interim deal was agreed by Iran and the permanent members of the UN Security Council, plus Germany, to suspend its most sensitive nuclear activity in exchange for a limited easing of sanctions. Restrictions remain in place against Iran's oil exports and financial sector. The country's government has been working to present a nuclear deal as an economic opportunity for Iran. And that's all the news we have for you today. Thanks very much for watching. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.